The mid-range section for smartphones is a crowded mess. To stand up in this crowd, the phone needs to have something extra that grabs the user's attention. The recently launched Xiaomi Mi A1 has an extra camera on the back, which is something unusual on the mid-range section in Nepal. Not only a dual camera setup, but it is the first phone from Xiaomi to adopt the stock Android experience, ditching the beloved MIUI ROM. What's up guys, I'm Yankee and let's find out how the Xiaomi Mi A1 stacks up in the mid-range section. The Mi A1 is one of the good-looking phone under the price of Rs 30,000. One might say it looks like the iPhone 7 Plus, and it certainly does, which is not a bad thing by any means. It has a unibody metal construct with a smooth polished back. It has a premium feel to it and stands solid at 165 grams. If you want to make it more fancy, you can get this rose gold color as well. Up front, the Mi A1 looks like any typical Xiaomi device, moreover like the Redmi Note 4. Further similarities remain, which we will discuss on later parts of this video. The phone has a huge chin and forehead with capacitive navigation buttons residing on the chin. They are backlit and the response is really good. I would certainly not rate this phone as one-hand usable. The huge chin coupled with smooth metallic back makes it slippery, and there was more than few occasions where it slipped out of my hand. So this phone is Gadget Byte certified slippery. But on the bright side, the insurance policy of Xiaomi can cover up the losses if you accidentally drop this phone. The Mi A1 comes with a Full HD 5.5-inch LTPS IPS display. An LTPS panel means it provides high pixel density and low power consumption. The display has 2.5D glass and is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 3. The color reproduction is good and the display is well saturated. The contrast is one of the best in a mid-range phone, but an AMOLED panel like that of the J7 Pro definitely beats this display. The viewing angles are good. I found no signs of color shifts while holding the phone as per my comfort. You'll definitely enjoy watching videos, playing games and reading on this sharp display. This panel has maximum brightness of 450 nits, well enough to view under direct sunlight. But on the downside, we already have phones with 18:9 aspect ratio, while the Mi A1 still has the usual 16:9 aspect ratio, which might be a deal breaker for some. So what do you guys think? Is it crucial to have a 18:9 display on a smartphone, or are you okay with the usual 16:9 aspect ratio? Have your say in the comment section below. Moving on to the software. For me, MIUI is one of the best UI after vanilla Android. Like mentioned earlier, this is the first Xiaomi phone to ship with stock Android under the Android One program. Comparing MIUI against the stock Android, you can see the world of difference. If you thought Xiaomi's hardware selection was great, but the MIUI turned you off, then the Mi A1 is what you have been waiting for. Apart from the camera app and the Mi Remote app, rest of the system is directly handled by Google. And to my surprise, I received the Oreo 8.0 update just after a few days I took this phone out for review. Since then, I have been getting few security updates and bug fixes every now and then. The small things I liked about Oreo is the faster app installation time, quick shortcuts on apps, well-bundled notifications, settings menu and notification snoozing, inbuilt night mode, ambient display and swipe down on fingerprint to access the quick settings and notification panels to name a few. So overall, it's stock Android, it's smooth, it's great and it gets tons of updates. Let's head on to the performance. Performance in mid-range device is Xiaomi's forte and they have opted for the trusty quad-core Snapdragon 625 chipset for the Mi A1. And in my opinion, it's the perfect chipset for phones under Rs 30,000. With 14nm architecture, it is both powerful and power efficient. It is coupled with 4GB of RAM. The same configuration can be found on the now popular Redmi Note 4. With stock Android at hand, the Mi A1 slightly outperformed the Note 4 on benchmarks. Well, on the real-life uses, it's really hard to differentiate in their performance. Opening of apps, general navigation, scrolling web pages, and every other thing you do on a daily basis is a breeze for this chipset. With 4GB of RAM on its arsenal, coupled with Oreo's optimized memory management, you can well shuffle between 6 to 7 apps or more with ease. When it comes to gaming, the combo of Snapdragon 625 with Adreno 506 does more than justice for gamers. Titles like Asphalt 8 Extreme, Shadow Fight, FG9 ran without any lags or frame drops. The game opening time were also fairly fast. If you have checked out the Redmi Note 4, then the performance is no different here. Xiaomi has used dual pyrolytic graphite sheets to dissipate heat effectively, and playing Asphalt 8 Extreme for an hour or so, I could only feel mild warmth on the back. So good job on heat management, Xiaomi. Also, I must not forget to mention the single mono speaker of the phone with 10-volt amplifier, which is loud and crisp, making the gaming experience even more engaging. Listening to music on loud volume didn't affect the clarity as well.
He's been on the web lately, says maybe she'll be my Gwen Stacy, despite a man, and I know she's using me to try to play him. I don't.
Now, dual camera is something we don't see very often in mid-range devices. The Mi A1 comes with a pair of dual 12-megapixel camera on the back. The primary shooter is a wide-angle 26mm f2.2 lens, while the assisting shooter is a 50mm f2.6 telephoto lens. The telephoto lens provides 2x optical lossless zoom like the iPhone 7 and the OnePlus 5. We compare its camera with Oppo F5, Huawei Nova 2i and J7 Pro. And here are the results. As you can see, the photos on the first glance look pretty normal, but upon comparing with aforementioned devices, a green tint is evident on most of its images. This green tint made sure the colors look disoriented, so Mi A1 misses out on the color accuracy. On the contrary, contrast is pretty good on photos. Turning on the HDR mode brings out details from the shadows pretty well, but misses to bring out better colors. Having said that, the dynamic range is also acceptable. When it comes to low light performance, the smaller f2.2 aperture doesn't let in much light. The images are washed out, the details are not there, and the grains can be found thoroughly spread across the images. Now let's talk about those dual cameras. First off, at good lighting conditions, it creates one of the most natural looking bokehs. Bokeh on smartphone are usually a hit or a miss, but here the separation between the subject and the background is very smooth most of the time. But mind that, it's only possible with good lighting. Whereas on poor lighting, the bokeh has loss of grains and doesn't look that appealing. The 2x optical zoom is a handy feature, the quality is good but nothing extraordinary here. Xiaomi has implemented its own camera app on the phone and I found its manual mode very interesting. It allows you to have manual control on either the wide primary lens or the telephoto lens. Mi A1 can shoot 4K at 30 fps, the quality looks good with natural colors. With no stabilization, it is shaky but the details are acceptable. As you might have already guessed, the audio quality is pretty bad. Now coming to the 5-megapixel front-facing camera, the images it produces are good for social media if there is ample light. But at low light, it produces washed out images with lack of details. In terms of storage, there are two variants of this phone, 32GB and 64GB. If you are tight on budget, get the 32GB version, else I will personally go with the 64GB version, since this phone comes with a hybrid SIM slot and I use both NTC and Ancel SIM on my phone. Moving on to the call quality, I found cellular reception and call quality from both NTC and Ancel to be pretty good. Surfing the internet with 4G was also a breeze. The phone offers IR blaster with which you can control TV, AC and so on. It utilizes USB Type-C, which I think will be more common next year. And if you are curious, it does support USB OTG. For wireless connection, it offers dual band AC Wi-Fi, meaning better Wi-Fi reception and faster speed. Talking about sensors, it has all the essential sensors including the gyro for VR experience. Not to forget, it also holds fingerprint sensor on the back. It is quick to set up and unlocks the device in a jiffy. Xiaomi phones always have had a reliable fingerprint sensor and this is no different. Mi A1 offers 3080 mAh battery, a fairly smaller size compared to the Redmi Note 4. Smaller size surely means less screen on time and standby. On my regular usage, I was able to pull out only 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time. Well, it entirely depends on your usage, but most of the time the battery lasted me for a whole day. The 5V 2A charger charges this phone from 0 to 30% in 30 minutes and 100% in around 2 hours. In conclusion, Mi A1 is a well-rounded phone under the price of Rs 30,000. It surely has a lot more to offer compared to its rivals. The phone offers a stock Android experience with timely updates, a sharp and vibrant display, a dual camera setup with the best-in-class portrait mode, a reliable performance and a premium build to name some. The phone surely falls back when it comes to front camera, also the battery life could have been a little bit better. So in conclusion, if you can live with a decent battery life, average camera performance and the older 16:9 aspect ratio, then the Xiaomi A1 is the best phone you can buy under the price of Rs 30,000. So that's it for the full review of Mi A1. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any queries regarding this phone, and make sure you hit that bell icon, because next week I'm coming up with the in-depth camera comparison of some of the best mid-range phones available in Nepal, and I'm sure you don't want to miss that. For now, I'm Yankee signing off.